Monetization. All right. Let's see. Picture look okay? What's up, everybody? YouTube finest in the house, chilling with Unc. What's up, everybody? Let's see. Make sure we got everything set up. Uh, Missing one thing. What's up? How's everybody? All right. Today, we're going to be talking about daddies and daughters. Wow. All right. Now, I'm talking about this subject because I didn't want the women to feel like, oh, he's picking on us. No, 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 no. Like I said in the last video, it's nothing like that. And then, like I said, I can explain from both sides. I can see it from both sides, from uh, the side of being a mama's boy and the side of being the father of daughters. So I got some stuff to tell you. So first things first. Let me see. Excuse me. All right. So welcome. First of all, welcome everybody. Thanks for your support. Thanks for coming back and checking me out. I really appreciate it. All right. In relations to the last video, I wanted to say I was going to say something that I left out on that. When I think of it, I'll come back. But anyway, let me give you a scripture that comes with the daughters in the Bible. All right, the scripture is Psalms 144:12. And the scripture says, all right, hold up. The scripture says, may our daughters be like pillars carved to adorn a palace. All right. When I read that, I was like, what? So let me tell you the breakdown on it. What it means is it's a prayer. It's a prayer for our children. And what it means is it's a prayer for a prosperous and blessed future for the nation, envisioning strong, healthy sons and beautiful, capable daughters as pillars of society. All right. And that's our baby girls. Now, I'm speaking to the men this time. And I'm speaking on behalf of myself. Oh, what's up? What's up, everybody? My help over here just let me know that I got some people in the house saying hello. Who's that?
Noah Kelly.
Noah Kelly. What's up? What's up? What's up? Appreciate you coming and joining in.
Sanaya.
The Sanaya. Okay, welcome. Thanks for coming in, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Haley, her birthday is tomorrow.
Haley, happy birthday. Happy early birthday. Tomorrow is your birthday. That's good.
You want to know how old you are?
I'm 52 years old. My birthday is in July. So y'all remember me? No, I'm just joking. Anyway, my last subject, like I said, was about the baby, about the not the baby, about the mama boys. So we're going to talk about the girls today. We're going to talk about the daddy's daughters. Now, me, my first two kids were daughters. Okay, when my girls came, man, it was like a feeling that I can't even. It was so surreal. Just the fact of having a child, like, was it was surreal. Like I just couldn't believe it. So I became the type of father that you know I I didn't want nothing to come in the way of my girls. My first daughter and my second daughter, I was very protective. Like it's nothing that they could that they asked for that they couldn't get. Um, well, I had to start making limitations with things because, but I'm gonna tell you, those little Google eyes it means something different to a father, I think, because I noticed with the mom, like a lot of the things that they say and do, it wasn't really they wasn't really getting over like that. But with me, like they can, please, daddy, please, can you take us to McDonald's? You know, things like that. Like it just really made me feel good. It's like it was hard for me to say no. It became a point where they weren't living with me. Like me and their mom had broke up, and they was living with their mom, and that was tough because we had a bond. Like we was around each other all the time. Um, I seen them. I seen my oldest through to I think second grade, first grade. My youngest, she hadn't started school, so a lot of things wasn't the same. But they started coming around for summer visits and stuff like that, and it was like I looked so forward to seeing them. I looked forward to spending time with them, and um, we would always go to the park. We would always go to the swimming pool. Like they would beg me, please, can we go swimming? Like every day, can we go to the swimming pool today, please? And I was always down for it. I was always down for it. But my mom, she was kind of she was about business when it come down to education. And one of the things that she would do with all of my kids is she give them school lessons throughout the summer. Now, deep down inside, I seen their little faces, and I just wanted to have fun time with them. But I understood, that she wanted to keep their minds a little bit, focused when it comes down to the next school year. So I went along with it, but it was sad because, I just wanted to go and have fun with my girls. Like I just wanted to go to the park. I just wanted to go to McDonald's, wherever they wanted to go. I wanted to go. I was down. Like, but it was tough. It was tough. But the the difference between the two. All right, like I said in my last video, having to pull myself away from being a mama boy, having to pull myself away from my mom and learning how to, do things on my own as a man. It's it's kind of you have to as men, we have to be the same way with our daughters. Like I had the notion that I didn't want my daughters to have to struggle with anything. Like if it was left up to me, like they wouldn't have to do anything. But that's not real. That's not realistic. They have to have a foundation. And sometimes as dads, like you know, you have most of the time there'd be one parent that'd be the the discipline, and the other parent be the fun parent. And I found with my girls that I was the fun parent. And but you have to realize that you have to give them balance and structure also because when they grow into adults, they have to be able to do some things for themselves. Now, I really didn't care about the school lessons like that during the summer, but I got to tell you, it paid off. because my kids were very smart. When it came down to going into the next grade, we got so many compliments on how much ahead they were when it came down to them and the rest of the class. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate that for them. And maybe they may look back on it. My kids are graduated from high school now. Maybe they look back and they see that that balance helped them to be able to complete school a little bit faster. So hopefully for them, that's a lesson that they learned. But as a father, like nowadays, you have to teach your girls to do things like once upon a time, you would think a guy would be like, I don't want my daughter lifting a finger and this and that and the other. Like, no, you have to teach your girls to do things and to be independent. Because, like I said in my last story, a lot of the young guys aren't being taught to be men. So a lot of the women are having to either do things on their own or having to nag a man to do anything to help them. So I wanted my girls to be able to do some things for themselves. Like, you know, not saying you don't need no man or nothing like that. I ain't saying nothing like that. Like, y'all need each other. But a man needs to be a man, but a woman needs to be a woman too. Like, there's some females that want to be kept, don't want to do nothing. You know, listen, you're not going to have a productive life by having a mentality that you don't have to do anything to make, anything of importance to make your way. I get it. Some guys, they want a woman to be home and this, that, and the other, but you have to do some things for yourself also, because you never want to have your soul everything depending on a person, because at any point it could be over and you sitting there, you haven't built a foundation for yourself. So I always encourage my girls to do things for themselves. Having a man is a plus, is an addition, but being able to do some things for yourself is even better. Like I said in my last story, the average amount of young men don't know how to change a tire, a car tire. And I'm not mad at them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not throwing shade on them like that. It's just something that wasn't taught. That's why, you don't know what type of situation you may be in. You need to be able to do some things for yourself, you know. And I know back in the day, like we would think like, no, a woman ain't going, it ain't a woman's job to get out and change no tire. The point is, you don't know what situation you may be in. Like, you don't want to, okay? And you may not have to, but you need to know how. You definitely need to know how, because, hey, nowadays I know you got AAA and roadside assistance, but you never know where you are, and you may need to be able to do that for yourself. Like, I mean, if you're in the area and you don't have no cell phone service, like, I'd rather you know how to change your tire than to be walking or roaming up and down a dark road trying to find help. I'd rather you go on to change that tire real quick and get on up out of there. But anyway, as fathers, and I know it's a lot of young people that's going to be having new kids and stuff like that. And when it comes down to kids, whether it's girls or boys, like, you want the world for them, of course. You want them to have all the things that you never had, you know, more. You want them to have more, but there's values that have to be taught as well, just for them to be a good, solid, decent individual, whether it's a boy or a girl. And with my girls, like, I lost a lot of time with them and I regret it. But it was a learning lesson for me because I spent a lot of my time, a lot of my years being upset with my dad because I felt like, he wasn't never trying to make time for me. I was constantly trying to reach out with him and keep relationship with him, and he was just too busy. So having kids of my own and going through the experiences that I went through with my kids, it humbled me and it made me have more consideration towards my dad and realizing that he wasn't taught. He only did what he was taught. Like my father, uh, his way of love is buying you things. Buying you the things you need, giving you money. Like it wasn't no, come on, son, let's go fishing. It was never enough, none of that. I didn't get none of that. I actually had one opportunity to go fishing, and that was with my stepdad, and that was a crazy experience. But um, as I got older, it just made me realize and appreciate. My father passed away, and like I miss him. I really do. I really miss him, and I really understand why he was the way he was. You know, and some of what I got from him, I wound up doing. Like I did a lot of running around and not taking care of my responsibility the way that I should have. Like I love my kids. Like there's no doubt about it. But it was times where my focus should have been more in this particular area, but it was all over trying to take care and trying to do things for this and that and the other, and not locked in on what it should have been. But this is learned behaviors. This is learned behaviors. Like I was taught like a man supposed to work and provide for his family and take care of the bills and this and that and the other. But it's more to it. Like your kids need you. Like it's fine that you working, you hustling, you trying to take care of your kids. That's fine, but they need you. Like I can look back on the memories that I had with my kids, and the happiest they was is when I would come in that door, when I would hug them, when I would pick them up, when I would play with them. Like that was the happiest, moments. And I remember, and if I had a magic wand, I just make time go back to when they was little girls, learning how to ride bikes and stuff. My youngest daughter, I didn't get to teach her how to ride a bike, and I regret that because, we weren't living together. She was living in another state. I did get to teach my oldest daughter how to ride a bike, but, you know, I have regrets for time missed. But one thing that I try to do as they got older, I try to talk to them about life. I try to teach them some things, uh, like financial things, saving and things that I wasn't taught. Things that will help them to be more prosperous and help them to be able to get ahead a little bit better than me. Because, you know, I didn't get none of this stuff. Like, I mean, and I'm not mad at my parents. Like, it's learned behavior. If you learn some stuff as an adult and you look back and say, well, dang, well, mom never told me that, or dad never told me that. Like, don't be upset with them. A lot of times is they never really learned it. They never had nobody to teach them. So they only can teach you what they know, you know? And even down to, you know, people that ended up with parents that wasn't so good. It's I learned that you have to forgive people. When parents go astray and they get, lost in different things in life, and they lose touch of their responsibility. And a lot of times you see the kids, upset because the parents is not doing or being there for them the way they feel they should be there for them. Like, I learned myself that these behaviors are learned behaviors. And I've learned to pray for people, pray for the situations, and forgive them, and hope for the best. Hope that things will be able to get back. Now, one thing I can say, I know I'm supposed to be talking about the girls, but with my father, because I did that, because I prayed, because I forgave, before he passed away, I had a one opportunity to spend time with him. I just happened to be walking down the street and I saw him. He had moved in on another part of town, and I saw him. And the last time I saw him, he was in a he was working, had just bought a brand new spanking car, like was living it up, looking good, everything. But when I saw him that day, he was in a wheelchair and he was looking all messed up and stuff. Like, I didn't even recognize him. But he called out, "Hey, son." I was like, "Who's that?" So he's like, "Me, it's your father." So I look, I just couldn't believe the state that he was in. And of course, the devil was saying, uh, keep on walking. But the love that I had for him, or still have, he's gone, but I still love him, was so strong I couldn't see myself turning my back on him and leaving him in the state that he was in. Like, so I sit down, I talk to him, and he explained to me what happened and everything. He had got hurt on his job, and everything just went downhill. His whole life just went downhill. And like, I was heartbroken for him. Like, I really felt bad, that he had, fell off like that. And he was sick. He needed help. So automatically, I kicked in. I started coming around more often, spending time with him, helping him out. And the thing about it is, I'm glad I did, because um, it maybe was a year. I might have had a good solid year with him, and he wound up passing away. And I think back at it sometimes and I say, you know what? If I would have turned my back on him and that he would have wound up passing away, like, I would have been living with so much guilt because I had a chance to help him, even though some may say he didn't deserve it. But I'm glad I took that opportunity to just go back and help him. And I even got a chance to hear some words that I've never ever heard from my father. Ever. My father told me that he loved me. I never heard him. I think it was a pride thing. Like, I think men in his generation, like, they just didn't say stuff like that. Like, they just didn't tell their kids that they love them, or I don't know. But he never ever said that to me in my whole entire life. But he said that to me as a grown man, and I felt like a little kid. I felt like I could melt when he said that. It's like I needed that. I really, really needed that. So, that being said, one thing I noticed, my kids, they never, ever could say that their daddy don't love them. I said so much. I said so much. Like, I'm always, always trying to instill in them the love that I have for them. You know. Now, sometimes it's not all about what you say. Sometimes the actions got to match. And at times, my actions didn't match. I was busy running around doing nonsense. But when it was all said and done, like, I love my kids. I got two daughters, and a son. And I love all three of them equally. And like I said, I try to teach them, to be independent, to do things for yourself. Don't depend on uh, nobody. Don't put your life in somebody else's hands. Like if you're in a relationship, of course, y'all gonna depend on each other to, take care of this. You do this, I do that, whatever like that. But don't put your life in somebody else's hands. Make sure you're in a position where if things don't work out, I'm good. I'm like I'm all right. I'm not gonna be butt out here because he or she decide to leave. Like I'm good. So just make sure that you do that, and make sure you're able to do some things for yourself. Like I said, when my girls were small, like I was a complete pushover. I was, but I did try to instill some values in them. About things, about you know going from a child to a young lady and then going into a adulthood. I tried to instill values in them throughout the time. Like we lost some time, we did lose some time, but anytime and every time we came back to each other, it was like we never even left. It's like we never even was separated. Like we just run and jump in each other's arms. Like if I had my way, like I would carry him around in my pocket. I love my kids. I love my girls, and I love my son. And but as parents, like we got to do better. Like I got on the mamas in my last video because a lot of these mamas is they won't let the boys go on and be men. And listen, some people say that a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. A woman can't teach a man everything, but a woman can instill values in him that a man need to be able to do, need to have. Like a man should be taking that trash out. A man shouldn't be sitting in a car, like I said in my last video, while the mom is going in the store paying for the gas and coming out pumping the gas. Like, no, these are things that a young man should be doing. And I recall, like I said, this is something that my mom didn't teach me. It's just instincts. Instincts. Like I couldn't see myself. I can remember all the way back to probably 8 or 9 getting out and pumping the gas. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just something that I just felt like I was supposed to do. And a lot of these young people, like, and I ain't judging nobody. It's learned behavior. And I don't want to create no waves and he talking. No, no, no. Listen, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help. What I'm saying is going to help you as a parent and you as a young person growing up and growing out. These things you're going to need to know. Like, if you get into a relationship, you don't want for a woman, you don't want for your man to be, upset with you because they can't depend on you for anything. And vice versa. Like you want to be able to say, you know what, okay, I got this. Let me go on and take care of this and that. I ain't worrying about this and that because, my man, he got that. Or, my girl, she got that. I don't have to worry about that part. I go and do this, she go and do that. We meet in the middle. Like that's the type of relationship that you want to have. You don't want to have a situation where, you know, your man don't even want to come home because you don't want to clean up. You know, you don't. I mean, not saying that woman's supposed to clean up. I mean, either side, you got to work together. You got to work together, and as parents, we have to teach our young people that from little, we have to teach them these values. So when they grow into an adult, they already know. It's like clockwork. Like nobody shouldn't have to beg them to clean their room up or go wash the dishes. Like they should already know these things like clockwork, you know. And I know in my time growing up, they was always saying like, "Oh, that's woman's work." But my mom didn't feel that way. I heard other people say, I heard other people saying stuff like that. But shoot, I recall being 6 years old, standing up on a chair washing dishes. Like my mom, she, it was no woman's work. It was none of that. Now, back in the day, they did have stuff like that. Oh, that's woman's work, or that's a job for a man. No, no. If God gave you the ability to be able to do it, you can do anything. I feel like a woman can do almost anything that a man can do. You know, but not to say that you need to X the man out because that's what we going wrong in society. A lot of women is feeling like I don't need no man. Like, okay, to a point, you don't need a man. Like, you can do some things on your own. You can be a boss, you know, but eventually you need or you're going to desire to have a relationship, right? So when you have a relationship, like you want to be, you know, you don't want for the other person to feel like you don't need them. Like everybody want to be wanted. Like who want to be in a relationship with somebody that feel like they don't need you? Like it don't work like that. We just as a society, like we just have went away, and I'm hoping that through some of my stories and some of my experiences that I can touch one or two people and to help to guide them to you know to be on the right track. Like I made a lot of mistakes, and like I said, a lot of my behaviors was learned behaviors. And as I got older, looking back on it, I'm wishing that I can get those days back of being on the playground, pushing my kids on the swings, uh, maybe not going to McDonald's as much as we did, but that's something that we did, even though the food was better back then. Um, let me see. The swimming pool, summertime. I'm surprised my kids not gray. That's all they wanted to do was go to the swimming pool, and that's what we did. So, like, if I can go back, like I do it all over again, but I make some changes in you know the areas that I feel like I went wrong. You know, but life is a learning experience. You know, but the point is, as fathers, of course, we're going to spoil our daughters, but we got to train them also. We have to train them to be more productive, more positive, uh, be able to be independent, not to be independent to the point where they don't want no companionship or they pushing other people away, nothing like that. Like just to be able to know how to do things if you don't have a man or if you come across a man that don't know how to do it. Like it's common nowadays. So it's common. Like more likely, a lot of times, a lot of the young guys they really don't know. And I'm not like I said, I'm not shading them. I'm just hoping that the parents will kick in and start. Even if it's not somebody in the house that can teach them like how to change a tire. I'm hoping that the uncles or somebody are coming to these young men's lives and be able to help them and give them guidance. Like I said, me personally, like my father wasn't around. I had a stepdad that didn't work out that good. But one thing I can say, shout out to my Uncle Junie, rest in peace. Shout out to my Uncle Andy, rest in peace. Shout out to Uncle Joe, still around. Um, my uncles, like I learned how to cut hair from my Uncle Junie. He used to cut all our hair, and I learned how to cut hair from him. I learned how to fix bikes from Uncle Junie. Uncle Andy, he taught me some wisdom stuff. Uh, Uncle Joe, he taught me some wisdom stuff, some basketball stuff. Like we had we had some positive influences around us, growing up. And I grew up in the projects. Like, we had some positive influence around. Like, but of course, we still went on to do knucklehead things. You know, you gonna it happens. It happens. Even though you know better, you still wind up being a knucklehead sometimes. But each experience that I had, I thank God for bringing me through, bringing me to, and bringing me through, because I can talk to other people, encourage them. You know, hey, that path right there, I chose that path. I'm gonna tell you now, you don't want to go down that way. You know, that's my plan. That's my intentions as a YouTuber. Like, like I said in my startup videos, like probably 3 years ago, I thought about doing YouTube, but I had this fear. Uh, but I just decided this year, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I got something to say. Like I feel like the stories that I have can be really positive. Can be really encouraging, and I want to be able to tell them. I want to be able to tell my story. I want to be able to, I watch YouTube. Like I watch mad YouTubers, and I got a whole lot of them that I'm a really big fan of. Like I said, I ain't gonna mention nobody because I don't want nobody to say I'm clout chasing. That's what they say nowadays. No, I'm not doing that. But I figure you spending all this time investing in watching other people, and I've seen people grow from a little to nothing to millionaire status. Not saying that that's going to be me. I hope it be me, but a lot of times people had a story to tell. And when people tell their stories, people listen. I have some really good stories to tell. I have some really good encouragement to give. I have some ups and downs. Like I really just want to help people, and I'm hoping that I can lock in some good YouTube family. We can get on here, and I can cut the fool a little bit with y'all. Um, After a while, maybe I'll get to know y'all names, get familiar with people. Later on down the line, I can maybe have a meet and greet like I see other YouTubers doing. Like, hey, why not? Why not? But anyway, I'm going to say this. When it's all said and done, listen, we got to help each other to succeed. We got to help each other to succeed. Fathers, I know them babies, they like coming from a person that's been there. Like they mean the world to you. You don't want uh, them to ever have a struggle at all. But listen, you have to teach them some things. There has to be some discipline in that. You can't let them get away with everything. Going into adulthood feeling like that everything that they do and say is right. We have to train them. The Bible says, train a child when they're young. When they get old, they won't depart from it. And I found that to be true. You know, I never forgot the teachings that I learned growing up in church. Now I have lost my way throughout time. I ain't been no saint. Now I definitely haven't been perfect, but I never forgot the teachings growing up as a kid, learning about the Bible and different things, different you know things like that. So I'm here. I'm hoping that I can connect with y'all. I'm hoping that I can keep y'all locked in with me. Um, I'm gonna try to have something to talk about at least every other day because I got so many stories in my mind. I just been jotting down things that I'm gonna talk about, and I hope that y'all come back and check me out and stay in with me. I'm still trying to figure out this thing with setting everything up. Of course, like I'm old. Well, I ain't old, but some people may say I'm old. But once I get everything figured out, get everything pinned down, the quality of my videos will be better, and I'm just learning things as of now. So y'all bear with me. Like I know it's YouTubers that got this all this high definition and videos is crystal and perfect. Like I'll get there. I'll get there. But I'm starting out and I'm glad. I thank all of y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for locking in with me. I ain't gonna keep you too long. All I'm saying is help each other, encourage each other, be there for each other. Fathers, hey, love them girls, love them daughters. We ain't talking about the sons. We gonna love them too, but love them daughters. But we got to teach them. We got to teach them too now. You can't be letting them get away with everything all because they got them Google eyes. I'm telling you, I fell for them Google eyes too. Come on, daddy. Look, I know about all that. But listen, there's love. There's got to be some balance, along with it. But anyway, I ain't gonna stay long. I just wanted to hit y'all up with this little quick story time. Like I said again, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I never stop appreciating and loving the fact that y'all coming in and y'all tuning in with me, locking in with me. And till the next time, I'm going to say love, peace, and blessings. And I'm out of here. Y'all be good. Y'all take care now. Love y'all. Well, I tell you what. If I can get